She left him for a rich man, but fate had other plans. Miguel Gomez had always been interested in technology. As a young boy, he would dismantle old radios, computers, and other gadgets and rebuild them. He could repair almost any electronic device. Miguel was able to get a scholarship to attend college, where he earned a degree in electrical engineering. After graduating, he landed a job at Boxtec Corporation. Even with a full-time job, Miguel continued working on his own side projects after work, investing most of his money into his research. One Friday afternoon, after work, some of Miguel's friends convinced him to join them at a bar for some drinks. Miguel was single and had no girlfriend. Two young women, Deborah Wiener and Gail Matson, entered the bar. Deborah was outspoken and free-spirited, while Gail was more reserved. Some of Deborah's friends referred to her as a gold digger. Spotting the four men at the table, Deborah noticed an ID card hanging from one of the men's necks. "They work at Boxtec. They're engineers," Deborah whispered to Gail. "They must be making a lot of money." Gail replied, "Deborah, is money all you care about?" Deborah laughed. "Yes." Deborah continued, "The one in the red shirt is single. The others are married." "How do you know?" Gail asked. "I saw their rings," Deborah said with a smirk. One of Miguel's friends, Ted, nudged him, saying, "Miguel, those chicks are checking you out." "Me?" Miguel asked, surprised. Ted replied, "You're the only one single here. Go over there and offer them a drink." Generally a shy man, Miguel gathered some courage after a few drinks and approached the ladies' table. Gail lowered her head, whispering, "Oh my God, he's coming," while Deborah smiled. Miguel greeted them. "Good evening, ladies. Could I buy you a drink?" "Sure," Deborah answered, patting the seat next to her. "Have a seat." "I'm Miguel," he introduced himself. Deborah extended her hand with a smile. "I'm Deborah, and this is my friend, Gail." Miguel shook his hands with both of them, exchanging a brief, meaningful glance with Gail. The conversation continued over drinks. Ted got up with a grin, saying, "Miguel, we'll leave you in good hands. Drive safely." As the night went on, Miguel found himself drawn to Gail, though Deborah kept flirting with him. By the end of the night, Miguel had had too much to drink, so Deborah took his car keys and drove him to her apartment. The next morning, Miguel woke up in an unfamiliar bedroom, realizing he was naked. Wondering how he ended up there, he was surprised when Deborah entered, saying, "Good morning, I made breakfast." After they ate, Deborah invited him to join her in the shower, and Miguel ended up spending the day with her. In time, Miguel moved in with Deborah and began paying her bills. However, Boxtec Corporation faced financial difficulties, resulting in layoffs. Miguel was one of the employees who lost his job, and he struggled to find work in his field. Needing money to continue his research, he took a job with House Eats, a food delivery service. One day, while making a delivery, he rang a doorbell and was stunned to see Deborah answer in a bath towel, with a man in the background wearing only boxers. "What are you doing here?" Miguel asked. "How long has this been going on?" The man wrapped his arms around Deborah from behind, and she coldly replied, "It's over, Miguel. This is my man now." "But why?" Miguel asked, heartbroken. Deborah scoffed, "I don't want a broke man who wastes money on some dumb invention. He has more money than you. I want you out of my apartment." Devastated, Miguel went to Gail's apartment and confided in her. Feeling sorry for him, Gail let him crash on her couch. As days passed, Miguel and Gail grew closer. Gail, believing in Miguel's potential, lent him some money for his project and introduced him to a family friend in investment and marketing. Miguel's invention became a huge success, and he and Gail eventually got engaged and bought a house together. One evening, they ordered dinner. When the doorbell rang, Gail opened it to find Deborah standing there, delivering their food. Spotting Gail's engagement ring, Deborah asked, "Did you find yourself a rich man? Who is he?" Just then, Miguel appeared in the doorway, and Deborah's mouth dropped as she turned and left. The next day, Deborah returned to Miguel and Gail's house when Gail was out. "What are you doing here?" Miguel asked. I'm sorry for what I did, Miguel," Deborah said, her voice pleading. "I still love you. Please take me back." "What happened to your rich man?" Miguel asked. "He's a cheater. We broke up," Deborah admitted, her voice filled with regret. Miguel shook his head. "I'm happy with the woman I love now. I could never take you back." Before Deborah could say more, Gail returned and Deborah quickly left. After a few months, Miguel and Gail got married. After their beautiful wedding, Miguel and Gail settled into a life filled with joy, mutual respect, and shared dreams. Gail became a steadfast partner in his work, encouraging Miguel to reach even higher with his inventions. With her background in business and his knack for engineering, the two of them quickly grew his venture into a thriving business, one that would later redefine smart home technology. Months went by, and as the company expanded, Miguel began hiring a team, some of whom were former Boxtex employees who had also been laid off. He wanted to build a company with integrity and a strong sense of family, a place where his team members felt valued and appreciated. Then, one day, as he was overseeing production at their new manufacturing plant, Miguel received a message that took him by surprise. It was Deborah. She had fallen on hard times after losing her job, and with a hint of desperation, she asked Miguel for a job. He thought long and hard about it, remembering all the hurt she had caused him. Gail encouraged him to handle the situation with grace. "She made her choices, Miguel," Gail said gently, "but sometimes life is the best teacher. If you feel it's the right thing to do, give her a chance to start over." After a lot of reflection, Miguel agreed to meet Deborah. When she arrived at his office, Deborah was barely recognizable. She looked worn down, her own vibrant personality now clouded by regret. She admitted her mistakes, confessing that her pursuit of wealth had only left her empty and alone. Miguel took a deep breath and told her, "Deborah, we're hiring for an entry-level position in customer service. It's not glamorous, and it would make you rich overnight, but it's honest work, and it's a chance to rebuild." Grateful and humbled, Deborah accepted. Over the next few months, Deborah worked hard at her new job. She showed up on time, eager to prove herself, and as she witnessed the healthy, respectful environment Miguel and Gail had created, she finally began to understand the true value of integrity and loyalty. As time went on, Miguel and Deborah found a sense of closure and forgiveness. Miguel saw Deborah as a lesson learned, a reminder of what he once desired but no longer needed. And for Deborah, seeing Miguel's new life and the love he shared with Gail showed her that genuine happiness was never tied to wealth alone. One evening, as Miguel and Gail relaxed at home, he turned to her and said, "You know, none of this would have been possible without you." She smiled, placing a hand over his. "We've built something beautiful together, and it all started because we believed in each other." With that, Miguel and Gail continued their journey, partners in life and in business, forever grateful for the twists and turns that had brought them together. Their love, built on trust and shared dreams, became the foundation for a legacy of kindness, success, and lasting happiness. And as for Deborah, she began to find purpose in her work, learning that true wealth wasn't measured in money, but in the relationships and integrity one builds along the way. Hey, this is Guiding Light Inspirational Stories. Thank you for watching. You are awesome.